Good evening and welcome to the Evening News for Tuesday, October 7, 2014. I'm Petali Santos. Thank you for joining us. Making the headlines this evening, Trotman and his agents accused of attempting to intimidate Johnny Welshman allegedly offers him multi-million-dollar bribe to say the PPPC is behind his complaints. Government tells Glenn Lal stop trying to confuse the public and says APNU and the AFC condoning Lal's illegal criminal actions. And wanted Caneville man shot by police. And now for the news in detail. In this report, you'll hear that attorney Peter Hugh has accused the Speaker of the National Assembly, Raphael Trotman, and his agents of attempting to intimidate Johnny Welshman, who has made damning sexual molestation allegations against Trotman. Additionally, Hugh has exposed attempts being made to bribe the young man to make a public statement that the PPP was behind his complaints against Trotman.
Johnny Welshman, through his lawyer Peter Hughes, says that he was offered $3 million to implicate the ruling PPP Civic in the allegations of sexual molestation being leveled against the Speaker Raphael Trotman. According to Hughes, Welshman was offered the money after Trotman had filed and obtained a gagging order from the High Court. The AFC Trotman's political party is on record saying that Welshman's allegations are politically motivated, an assertion that Welshman has denied. Hughes also accused the Speaker of witness tampering and attempting to pervert the course of justice. The lawyer questioned why will Trotman entertain and engage in talks of settlement with Welshman a sum of money if he honestly believed that Johnny Welshman was a mentally unstable young man, making wicked accusations and being used as a pawn in a plot by a political party. According to Hughes, both Welshman and his previous attorney have been subjected to threats against their lives. He noted that reports have since been lodged with the police, but investigations are yet to bear fruit. Hughes also condemned NGOs that have been unusually silent since the allegations were made public. In most other scenarios, NGOs readily offer support and condemn the abuse and alleged abuses, but this has not been the case with Welshman.
The government is calling on the citizens of Ghana to be wary of Glenn Lal and his maneuvers to shield their eyes from the real issue at hand involving his personal life. The details in this report.
The government of Ghana said in a statement issued late on Monday night that it has noted with keen interest the call by Glenn Lal, the owner and publisher of the Kaichor News, on October 5 for people to stand by him and his newspaper. The government said that as much as Lal may wish to confuse the public that this is an issue of press freedom, in fact the matters to which he seeks support have nothing to do with the right to freedom of expression. Rather, Lal is asking the Guyanese public to support unlawful activities, including tax evasion of millions of dollars, attempting to pervert the course of justice by blackmailing his opponents to drop the charges, manipulating the Georgetown Municipal Council for non-payment of rates and taxes, stealing electricity from the Ghana Power and Light, maligning people, and threatening to expose private and personal matters of his perceived opponents in order to have his unlawful activities dropped. The statement noted that the call has been publicly supported by a Partnership for National Unity APNU and the Alliance for Change, the AFC. It also questioned whether leader of the AFC, Kemrat Ramjatan, and leader of APNU, David Granger, would now call on the Guyanese public to support Lal for the specific crimes he has been accused of. The release said, and I quote, "So blind is their hell-bent onslaught on the government that they are willing to support tax evaders and maligners in order to bring down the government." End quote.
Weeks after its disclosure that it had suspended the contract of the Indian company Surendra Engineering Construction Limited, government is yet to find a new contractor to continue construction on the medical edifice. Here is more from Alexis Rodney.
Construction of the US $18 million specialty hospital was early last month halted after government suspended the contract initially awarded to Surendra Engineering. Government said it had previously written to the company about its concerns over the design and construction of the specialty hospital, which after completion will be able to offer medical services to Guyanese with complicated conditions ranging from heart operations and organ transplants to cosmetic surgeries. Government's concerns were related to the delayed milestones and inadequate accountability by SICL for public funds the company had received on signing the contract with the Ministry of Health. Meanwhile, General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Clement Rohi, who is also a member of cabinet, told the Evening News that government continues to pursue the legitimate interest of the specialty hospital in the context of what was recently disclosed by both Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nandlal and Head of the Presidential Secretariat Dr. Roger Luncheon. launching at a press conference, had informed that government will be taking legal action against the construction company, which up to that point had still owed government some US $4 million. One of the objectives of that lawsuit was to also blacklist the company. The US $4 million used for mobilization work at the Liliendal site represents 23.5% of the total project cost. Meanwhile, Attorney General Anil Nandlal reported that his ministry has already begun preparing documents to move toward the direction of suing the company for breach of contract. He said too that all documents relating to the crime has been handed over to the relevant authorities at the Criminal Investigations Department. According to government, since the fraudulent act by the company was confirmed by the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, it wrote Surrender informing it of its intention to terminate the contract, pursue legal action for fraud, and recover public funds for which it has failed to account fully. For the Evening News, I'm Alexis Rodney.
The Demerara October Criminal Assizes got underway today with some 226 cases listed to be heard during the session. The details in this report.
The session began with its usual pomp and grandeur as the police forces band marched along Cole Street and South Road from Brigdam Police Station. Justice Brassington Reynolds took the salute during the march past and also inspected the Guard of Honor. He, along with Justice Navindra Singh and Justice Don Gregory, will be presiding over the October Criminal Assizes in Demerara. There are 226 cases listed to be heard in the final session of this year. The June Criminal Assizes, which closed last Wednesday, saw a total of 49 cases disposed, but only 31 engaged the court's attention. The other 18 cases were null prosequi by the DPP chambers. There were 5 convictions, 7 not guilty verdicts, 15 formal verdicts of not guilty, and 1 case was quashed and the PI was ordered to be done de novo. There were also a retrial and 2 hung jury verdicts. Meanwhile, the new Criminal Assizes in Berbice is set to open on October 21st with 52 cases. Justice James Bovell Drakes will be presiding. Then, the Essequibo Criminal Assizes will follow, opening the session on October 28 with 19 cases to be heard before Justice Franklin Holder. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchan.
Guyana's biggest exposition and trade fair culminated on Sunday at the National Exhibition Site Sophia on a high note with a record-breaking international contingent for the first time. Here is more from Bisham Mohammed.
Acting Tourism Minister Irfan Ali was lauded for the successful staging of the 20th edition of Gaia Expo 2014, but the minister was particularly impressed with the level of international participation.
First of all, there are 2 important aspects of Gaia Expo 2014 that stands out. One is that this is the largest international contingent to ever visit the Gaia Expo. More than 118 buyers and suppliers. Then, at this Gaia Expo, we had the largest array of locally produced products. The Guyana supermarket was a hit. So, those are 2 exceptional things.
In light of this achievement, he said that his ministry is working towards a project in the new year encouraging Guyanese to return home.
2015, Homecoming 2015, Guyana Homecoming 2015, when we'll be bringing home all our brothers and sisters, bringing them back to beautiful Guyana, the new Guyana. The future is ours. We have to build a future that is strong, one that is free from the political rift and political rhetoric, but one that is embedded in the development of our people and the advancement of our economy.
However, he complimented his entire planning committee for their commitment during the staging of the event, while disclosing that there are several surprises during the Christmas season.
I think that the team that worked on Gaia Expo, coming just out of Guyana Festival, must be complimented. That team did a tremendous job in bringing the pieces together and ensuring that we have this grand success at Gaia Expo 2014. I want to say that the police force, the corporate sponsors, the exhibitors, the more than 118 foreign investors, buyers, suppliers who came in, and all the patrons who came to Gaia Expo really made this an exceptionally joyous journey. I want the media houses and our people to know that out of Guyana Festival into Gaia Expo, expect a wonderful Christmas, expect a big surprise from the Ministry of Tourism for Christmas, And then we are already talking to a team in Trinidad about Mashramani, bringing on something different from a tourism standpoint.
The exposition was held under the theme Transformation, Pardoning for a Better Guyana, and from the support seen during the 4-day event, the theme fitted in perfectly. Bishar Mohammed, The Evening News.
Stay with us. More of the evening news after these messages. Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. The People's Progressive Party Civic today opposed the appointment of Richard Francois as a new public relations officer of the Ghana Elections Commission, citing his political affiliations. Here is more from Alexis Rodney.
The party's General Secretary Clement Rohi, speaking to media operatives at its Robb Street office, said that while the party is not against the right to work, special considerations must be given to Francois's political affiliation. According to Rohi, the execution and discharge of his duties could very well be compromised.
Available information indicates that he is openly supportive and sympathetic to the opposition. As such, the PPP believes that his appointment runs counter to GCOM's claims of appointing professionals to fill important positions. We would like to reiterate that such positions must be staffed with apolitical persons. Our party therefore calls on GCOM to explain this appointment in the interest of ensuring fairness and professionalism from the senior officer.
Rohi said the premise of the party's objection is based on several past incidents which demonstrated a lack of professionalism and fairness, particularly during the 2011 general elections, where officers prevented PPP candidates from executing their constitutional duties at polling stations.
The role of candidates assigned to receive updates from polling agents is enshrined and must be guarded and respected. It is in this context that our party continues to have these concerns regarding Mr. Francois' ability to discharge his duties professionally and the political influence he could exert in the interest of the party he is aligned to.
Prior to taking up his position at the Elections Commission, Francois had served the Ministry of Education as a strategic communication consultant. Before that, he was employed at the Guyana Power and Light Inc. as its public relations officer. For the Evening News, Alexis Rodney.
Studies show that revenue from foreign direct investment in Ghana's extractive sector will reach nearly $500 million by 2020. Here's more in this report.
The preliminary report from a study being conducted by United Nations Development Programme shows that in a matter of 6 years, revenue from foreign direct investment in Ghana's extractive sector will peak at US $100 million. According to the consultants from the UNDP who undertook the study, thereafter the amount will decrease substantially.
You're looking at a cyclical wave of national revenues that are going to come to the government. This wave is based on the fact on CIT, corporate income tax, royalty levels, with the assumption that prices will stay for gold above $1,000, VAT, excise tax, etc., etc. And what you'll notice is you're expecting a peak in 2020, which is $100 million, but after that things will start to decline. Now this assumption is based on the fact that you are not going to see more gold mines coming in, because what we have right now is what's going to go into production. The rest of the projects do not look like they're going to be big enough to actually progress into mining at this point.
The UNDP reps said that there was a need for more incentives to be offered to foreign investors. It was related by doing so, foreign investors will be more inclined to set up shop here.
If the environmental costs and risks aren't adequately incorporated into policy at an early level, then there is, it's very likely that there will be major environmental damage. Furthermore, the income gains from FDI, which also can lead to greater demand for environmental services, these aren't necessarily going to push environmental service to a level that exceeds the ecological limits that could be reached if certain large-scale projects are put into place.
Meanwhile, Natural Resources and Environment Minister Robert Persaud remarked that the study represented a catalyst of change for the extractive sector. He also emphasized the need for the removal of the technical red tape for investors in Guyana's economy.
We ourselves, as policymakers, we would be a bit impatient at how things work. But what it tells us too is that having these checks and hearing these complaints is also a way in which one can see that the system is working and the checks and the arrangements that we have in place are there for specific purposes. And so whilst we want investment within the country and within the extractive industry, we also insist that the required procedures and requirements are fulfilled. And yes, we have to do a better job in some instances of facilitating and allowing these investment and these activities to take place.
The government is currently working to produce a revised labor and safety document to govern the mining sector. The details in this report.
Chairman of the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, Clinton Williams, today confirmed that the government is working to produce revised safety regulations for the mining sector. This comes in the wake of 2 mining-related deaths over the weekend.
Well, that has been on the card for quite a while. But as you know, practices after a while becomes, as it were, custom and practice. And these custom and practice that were relevant a number of years ago are no longer relevant to the sector because of additional technology issues and so on. And that is what we're working on with these agencies, to make sure that we are relevant, and having developed and agreed on these principles and practices, that in fact they are there to by proper monitoring thereafter.
It was explained that the miners are sometimes culpable for their own accidents. It was noted that through GGMC, officers visit the camp and provide necessary guidance. The miners revert to their old practices soon after.
We have mines officers in the field who are tasked with that responsibility to look at environmental issues, whether the safety practices. Generally, they will, when you're there and when you leave, they will try to go back to the old habits. So we have to find ways and means of dealing with continuous compliance. Continuous compliance.
Over the years, several miners have perished in industrial accidents. The recent spike has caused concerns to society, with calls for more regulation and enforcement of labor laws for mining.
A man who was reportedly wanted by the Guyana Police Force for questioning in relation to a murder and a number of robberies was on Monday evening shot and injured by ranks during an exchange of gunfire. The wounded man has been identified as Steve Mohammed, 26, of Third Field, Caneville, East Bank, Demerara. According to the police, ranks acting on information received went to a location in Friendship on the East Bank when they saw Mohammed, who opened fire on them. Further reports reveal that the police then returned fire, injuring the suspect in his upper left leg. Mohammed was taken to the Diamond Diagnostic Center and was later transferred to the Georgian Public Hospital, where he is currently admitted under guard. Investigating ranks have recovered a .38 special revolver along with 2 spent shells and 3 live rounds at the scene of the shooting. The Education Ministry is currently conducting a series of investigations into a recent sex video of students from a popular high school that was leaked on social media. The details in this report.
Last Wednesday, a video of 4 students from a popular high school in Georgetown went viral on social media, attracting more than 1,000 likes, shares, and nasty comments from both Guyanese and foreigners. The video was leaked by an individual who is not a student of the school in 2 separate clips, each showing a different girl performing oral sex on a male student. According to Education Minister Priya Manikchand, her ministry only learned about the video on Thursday, and an immediate investigation was launched to identify the persons involved and where the incident took place. Manikchand also added that the ministry will be sending a very strong message to students, but in dealing with the matter, consideration will be given to the future of the actors in the video. While many persons pointed fingers at the school and contend that such acts are a regular practice in the school system, others say that parents have to be more vigilant about the activities of their children. For the Evening News, Royden James reporting.
Stay with us. You're watching the Evening News. If you've just joined us, you're watching the Evening News. In a bid to observe Breast Cancer Awareness Month and promote continuous screening, the Rotary Club of Demerara and the Guyana Conference of Seventh-day Adventist Church executed a breast cancer awareness walk on Sunday. Here are the details in this report.
The walk was to raise much-needed awareness on the need to be screened for breast cancer in Guyana. Dr. Narendra Bala from the Cancer Institute indicated that women do not recognize the seriousness of the disease.
It's important because nowadays even the younger age group getting the cancer around like 26 years of age or 33, 35. It used to be having more older people like 45, 50, but nowadays is cancer increasing all over the world. So Guyana people also they getting at early age. So it's best to screen at 35 or 40 years of age.
Dr. Cummins agreed with Dr. Bala. He advocated the importance of eating right. He remarked that vegetables are a must, as it has been found that chlorella has anti-cancer chemicals that may be fruitful in curing the disease.
Studies have shown that smoke on meat produces a carcinogen by the name of nitrochlorine. So any smoke, so it means smoked fish, smoked chicken, smoked beef, cooking food over that smoky flame, barbecue chicken, predisposes you to cancer.
Organizer of the event, Samantha Henry, informed this newscast that the route for the walk was chosen with care to bring as much awareness, as well as to appeal to the relevant officials to do more to highlight the disease.
The route, from when we start from Texila University all the way East Coast and passing the University of Guyana, because there are some professors who had died from cancer at the University of Guyana, so we want to do that in honor of them.
Cancer is a disease that affects both men and women in Guyana. However, reports have indicated that there are not many persons coming out for screening. In most cases, when the disease is found, it is too far gone for treatment.
Stay with us. Your regional and international news is coming up next. Welcome back, and now for a look at some news in the region. Trinidad and Tobago police are continuing their search for the killer of a 30-year-old, Joseph Nero, who was gunned down on Sunday night while attending a wake for his mother. Police said that 52-year-old Patricia Spinks of Coroni in central Trinidad was shot and killed at her home on Friday night. Her killers have not yet been found. The authorities said that her 30-year-old son was among relatives attending the wake when a gunman on a motorbike called out to him and brazenly shot him in front of numerous witnesses. The police said they have no motive as yet for the double killing. Nearly 300 people have been murdered in Trinidad and Tobago since the start of the year. And internationally, Twitter has filed a lawsuit against the U.S. government over surveillance laws. Under current regulations, Twitter cannot reveal certain information about government requests for users' data relating to national security. Twitter argues that this violates the right of free speech as defined by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. The firm said it filed the suit in an effort to force the government to be more transparent about the personal data requests. Here now are your bridge reports. The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed on Wednesday, October 8 at 5 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. And the Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Wednesday, October 8 at 1600 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Do stay with us. Sport is next.
Every day presents a few more challenges. Keeping your business running shouldn't be one of them. That's why we work every day towards ensuring your overall satisfaction. With over 100 skilled technicians and engineers equipped with the tools and skills to help you do more. With the largest parts inventory in Guyana, over 10,000 line items readily available. Driven by your success is not just a set of words to us. It is a code by which we live. That is why we are proud to say that we are Victorious!
Are you looking for a very good used Caterpillar machine at the price you want to pay? Come to our Providence East Back Demerara Equipment Yard to inspect the machines for sale by tender from October 1st to 31st, 2014. See press or visit us on maccorpcat.com for more info.
Welcome back, and now for your sport headlines. The West Indies players threaten strike action. Windy players a no-show at training session. Everest Masters defeat Meaty 11 by 34 runs. And Matthias leadership again under the microscope. This segment of sport is sponsored by MacCorp.
Are you looking for a very good used Caterpillar machine at the price you want to pay? Come to our Providence East Back Demerara Equipment Yard to inspect the machines for sale by tender from October 1st to 31st, 2014. See press or visit us on maccorpcat.com for more info.
Every day presents a few more challenges. Keeping your business running shouldn't be one of them. That's why we work every day towards ensuring your overall satisfaction. With over 100 skilled technicians and engineers equipped with the tools and skills to help you do more. With the largest parts inventory in Guyana, over 10,000 line items readily available. Driven by your success is not just a set of words to us. It is a code by which we live. That is why we are proud to say that we are Victorious!
A potential strike by the West Indies cricketers is looming less than 3 weeks after the West Indies Cricket Board and the West Indies Players Association signed a landmark Memorandum of Understanding, a collective bargaining agreement. The details in this report.
Investigations have revealed that the WICB had been warned of a possible withdrawal of players' services for tomorrow's first one-day international against India in Kochi. The threat stems from various clauses of the new MOU and CBA with which the players are unhappy. Well-placed sources revealed that several Caribbean cricketers, including top international players, were not privy to many key sections of the agreement that was signed on September 18 by the WICB President Dave Cameron and WIPA's President and Chief Executive Officer Wavell Hines at the Accra Beach Hotel in Barbados. At the center of the players' issues is the decisions taken that significantly result in a decline in income. It is understood that under the terms of the new MOU and CBA, a portion of the revenue that was previously divided among West Indies players would now be shared by the wider membership of WIPA. Additionally, the players would no longer be entitled to a 25% share of income the WICB secured from International Cricket Council events. It is believed that the players said in their correspondence to the WICB that if the issues were not resolved in short order, they would be prepared to take drastic action. Cameron has neither confirmed nor denied the WICB had received correspondence from the players. He said, and I quote, "We have a signed agreement with the Players Association. If there is some issue within the players' ranks, that is another matter." End quote. Prior to the signing of the new MOU and CBA, the last time the WICB and WIPA signed a similar agreement was in 2003. Cameron described the signing as a watershed moment and a new partnership which will take regional cricket forward, while Hines said it created a stable environment for the players to play and demonstrate their skills. The last time the West Indies players withdrew their services from an international match was in 2009 for a home series against Bangladesh.
Meanwhile, the West Indies cricket team today skipped the final practice session and the press conference that was to follow, creating quite a stir ahead of the ODI against India. According to Hindu Sport, the visiting side was scheduled to have a training session followed by a media briefing at the Nehru Stadium, but the players never turned up. It is the strongest indication yet that the West Indies may boycott the first ODI tomorrow in Kochi. Everest Masters defeated the Ghana Meadies 11 by 34 runs on Monday when the two teams contested a friendly 2020 match in front of a small but vocal crowd at the Everest Ground, Camp Road. Here is more from Avinash Ramzan.
Batting first after being sent in on a damp wicket, Everest Masters were dismissed for 131 in the final over, with Jermaine Neblett claiming 3 wickets and Ravi Prasad and Ishaq Jackman 2 each. Hemraj Garbaran and Sahid Mohammed led Everest batting, getting into the 30s. Chasing a challenging 132 on a tricky wicket, the media 11 lost wickets at regular intervals, being dismissed for 97 in the 18th over. Jackman crowned a solid all-round effort with a top score of 32, while Mohammed returned with the ball to claim 2 wickets. At the presentation ceremony which followed the game, Media 11 skipper John Ramsing said the better team won on the day.
Well, thank you very much to Everest for hosting us, and we had a good time, and unfortunately we're on the losing side, but somebody had to win. And like you said, I think cricket has won today. It's wonderful. Good knock, you guys. I think that you guys have shown that you guys have been playing like masters over the 40-something years now, as most of you are at. We're still learning the trade. But nonetheless, I think my guys did very well. And I think both teams deserve a round of applause.
President of the Everest Cricket Club, Stephen Lewis, said the game formed part of the club's centenary celebrations, while skipper of the Masters team, Rajesh Singh, thanked the media for accepting the invitation to be part of the festivities.
I want to congratulate the winning team. Usually we try to be a good host and let the other team win. But during the centenary year, we are making it a special effort to ensure that we win. But let not that be a problem for you. Keep on coming to Everest and celebrate with us. We are happy to have you here, and to the losing team, better luck next time.
On behalf of the management team of Everest, welcome to you guys. For those of you who are here for the first time, I hope we can see you more often and eventually get you joined up in the club so we can draft you into our team. For those of you that are over 40, that is. Nevertheless, I think we had a good game today. The weather tried to spoil it, but all in all, I think Everest, you guys, you did well. So congrats to my team and better luck to you guys next time.
Mohammed received the Man of the Match award for his all-round effort, while Everest Masters received the winner's trophy. The trophies were sponsored by Truck Masters. Truck Masters also used the opportunity to present $100,000 to the Everest Cricket Club to assist with expenses during its centenary celebrations.
And finally, a group of 3 led by referee Mark Young today mounted a protest outside the office of the Ghana Football Federation in Campbellville. Young and his supporters are calling for the president of the federation, Christopher Matthias, to step down from the post following what they have deemed his lack of leadership. Matthias, whose leadership has been under the microscope since taking office in April of 2013, was not readily available for comment on the matter. It's not clear how long Young and his supporters will continue the protest action. And that has brought us to the end of the evening news for today, Tuesday, October 7, 2014. Do remember to get a copy of tomorrow's edition of the Ghana Times for details of these stories and other news. I'm Petali Santos. Thank you for joining us.